Hello, I'm just gonna make one of these introduction videos, and I'm just as uncomfortable or more than most people in front of a video camera. So I'll just do this and see how it works. And I'm sitting in the workshop, our wood carving workshop. I'm working today. Everybody else is at the cabin or out skiing. It's beautiful weather, blue skies, and very good snow to ski on. So my name is Bård, and I come from Oppdal in Norway, in Sør-Trøndelag in Norway, and my family has lived here for generation after generation. And I'm a wood carver from I was born. It's more like an identity, a lifestyle than it is a profession. It's My first memories from the workshop are from when I was like 3, 4 years old. Just glimpses of memories, and I started turning when I was 8, 7, 8. Started carving when I was like 4, 5. Just first steps. Didn't carve anything to really show pictures of before I was like maybe 8, 9 years old at least. So I might post some pictures of that later. And what more should I say? I work at the local museum in Oppdal as a guide, and sometimes as a chef. Sometimes most of the time I'm a guide and teaching children and grown-ups to how to do wood carving, and teaching them about the old crafts. And I've been working for like 3 years at the Norwegian Wood Carver School as a teacher with the main field in Viking styles and dragon style. And yeah, that's I guess that's about it. I should maybe say a little bit about well, I'm into everything from comics to Marvel. I'm a computer geek. I also am very fond of nature, fly fishing, wood carving and art, of course. And I'm also a carpenter. I find carpenter for furniture. Have education in that. There, but at least the interest is really big, and outside of Norway and in Norway, and the Viking time the Viking age is just really popular at the moment. So what we grew up with and heard stories about and lived with, that is it's really popular now, and that's good, of course. So I'm hoping to take in more apprentices from the fall and take over the company here and start it myself. My father and uncles are My oldest uncle is 75, and my father and his twin, they are 69, and they're still here at the workshop every day in the week, except from they take it a bit more easy now than they used to do before. And I remember when I was a kid, I have to tell some stories to you, because my grandmother and grandfather's house, where my uncles and my father grew up, is right below the workshop, and the old workshop used to be beneath here, and restored that one, and we moved it a bit farther on the farm. That's where my grandfather, his father, and his father were doing wood carving, and that workshop is from the 1600. I'll see if I can take a small cut and put in a picture or something. And I remember when I was a kid and I was here playing, and I was using the big bandsaw, and I was nagging on my father and my uncles about they could make me swords and kites and wooden guns and things like that. And they got tired of me because I was disturbing them in the workday. So they built one of these small chairs with steps on it, so I could climb up. I was sitting on the bandsaw, and I was cutting out small figures. Of course, they showed me how what to be careful with and what to not do. But few grow up that way today. It's a bit sad because kids and the younger people, a lot of people lack those practical experiences from their childhood. So I also often have a children's group at the museum, which I teach about wood carving and about the old crafts. And of course, I take private students here at the workshop all year round. So yeah, I hope that was a little bit about me, and yeah, the story. Of course, I have to remember that. Um, when I was a kid and my father and uncles were working, and a client came or a customer came and they were going to buy something with bills or big money. They had to drag in a line that was hanging from the roof, and the line goes down to my grandmother and grandfather's house, and a bell rings there. And then my grandmother took the money box, the lock box, which she stored in the corner cabinet in the old house. And she came up with that, and then they arranged it so that the customer could change his big bills. so, so it's really family company. My grandfather was watching me a lot when I was younger, and my father and uncles was working, and yeah, he was at the workshop until his last day. So and passed away on the way home, just outside the workshop. And my father and uncles, they can't quit either, and it is lifestyle. It's just there are a few days that is 8 or 7 hours. It's 10 hours. It's 14 hours. Sometimes you even work around the clock to make a commission finished. The people up here in the mountains, they're quite accurate about keeping their word. If you promise something, you promise it. You give in your word. And a lot of those old traditions and old ways of thinking still lives here in the mountains, in the districts of Norway. So we do all by hand carving. We of course use a portable handheld cutter to take out some of the holes and the edges of the carving, but everything else is done by hand. It's the way it should be. Never, no sandpaper, ever no sandpaper. When I was younger, my old wood carving teacher, when I was 17, and also my grandfather and father and uncles, I was not allowed to have sandpaper on the workbench when I was working with wood carvings. Sandpaper was for carpentry. Wood carving should never be touched with the sandpaper. Only amateurs that wanted to hide their errors did that. That was the old saying up here. So I grew up with a lot of those old craftsman's stories and traditions. I remember my grandfather told me when I was a kid that his grandfather told him that he should not let full moon's light shine on your irons, and you should not let the women touch your irons because they would turn bad. So I learned some of those old traditions and stories. So, anything else I should add? Yeah, my grandmother, she took over the farm here when she took over the farm when she was 16 years old, and she got 4 sons and carried water from the stream. There was no electricity, there was no phone before in the beginning of the 60s, end of the 60s, I think the first phone came here. So yeah, it's an old place, Oppdal. My grandfather's farm is on the other side of the valley, also a very old farm. And in the middle of the bottom of the valley, there's a small lake. There used to be a small lake, and they drained it in the end of the 60s. I think it was the 67 or something like that. And they found Norway's oldest wood carving, if you can call it wood carving. It is just lions and symmetrical symbols. But first example of it, I would call it Norway's oldest wood carving, and it's 7,350 years old. So it's early Stone Age. It's old. So old traditions, and also there's a lot of finds here from the Stone Age. The oldest graves at the burial fields here are from, I think, 300 years before Christ, and the new stones are from around 1100, which is the absolute end of the Viking Age. And the biggest amount of graves are from the Viking Age. And you also have a lot of animal traps, like animal fall traps. They're spread from the other side of the Dovre Massive along across the Dovre Massive, and then along the edge of the valley here you have animal traps all the way, and they keep finding Stone Age tools, Stone Age arrows around here. Hope you found some of that interesting, and might make some more videos later. I hope you all have a nice day, and my best wishes for you.